There's some interesting parallels between LinkedIn and Facebook in terms of hierarchy, where LinkedIn has a campaign group, a campaign, and ads. Facebook has a campaign, an ad set, and an ad. This hierarchy serves similar functions. So the first thing I'll do in Facebook when launching a new sprint is create a new campaign, where I will align the campaign to the objective that I'm trying to accomplish, the funnel objective. So in this case, I'm going to say I want sales, or maybe leads. Okay. I'm going to select. I prefer to do the manual setup of a campaign. Call me old school. In doing so, I will name my campaign the time frame of the test. So let's call it Q4 2023. The audiences that are going into the test. So in this case, I'll call it all custom audiences. And the objectives. I want form submits on my website. I will select Advantage Campaign Plus Budget, so that it'll distribute my budget across my ad sets, and then I'll set my budget goal, my daily budget, and then I prefer to not let the algo do A/B tests. In part because my audience size is too small for the Facebook algorithm to really maximize results in my experience. Moving on. Now I've got my ad set. I typically use a similar format for naming my ad set. The idea here, I select my conversion location, website. I want to maximize the number of conversions. I make sure I select my pixel and my pixel event, which is a form submit. And then I'm going to go into my audience. Facebook has recently been pushing the Advantage Plus audiences on folks, which is their new idea of essentially it's a rebranding of their interest-based and demographic-based targeting. You could go through here and you can select interests, select behaviors, select demographics. I can browse them, yada yada yada. In a separate post, I'll share kind of the results of one of those tests. Obviously, with B2B targeting, it's best to use the primer audiences, so you can go through and just add those into your campaign, into your ad set. And then for placements, you can also edit your placements controls if you so choose. For example, it might be best to remove the audience network. Then in setting up your ad, I'm using, I'll select my custom audiences, and then and I also make sure that dynamic creative is off, because if I leave it on and I upload an image, it'll reformat the image in odd ways that actually won't work well. In setting up my ads, I select my Instagram account, so make sure you got one of those, and then I'll go through and I will upload each one of my creatives that I have in Figma. I will add 3 different sizes. So I always create a newsfeed, a story, and a equivalent of a LinkedIn post, also known in Facebook as the right side placement. So select all 3, upload them, and then once they're included, I'll select one, for example. Then I have to go back in. So you'll see here, this is the right sizing. It's a 1:9:911 ratio for right column, but I'm going to need to replace this with the newsfeed equivalent, which is right here. And then I need to replace this with my Instagram version right here. And then I'll hit, nope, 1:1, recommended replace. Oops, there we go. I hit next. I allow Facebook to do all the optimizations. Kind of nifty. Then I'll go through and I'll add in my text. Facebook allows you to add in multiple text variants. So whereas LinkedIn allows you to optimize, allows you to create an ad with 5 different image variants, Facebook inverts that and allows you to create an ad with 1 image but multiple different text variants. Kind of interesting. So here I'll just actually add in all 5 of my text variant ideas. So I'll add a text option, and then it'll optimize, the algo will optimize for the one that is best performing, which is kind of neat. So on and so forth. I can also add different options for my headline, et cetera, and then I can update my call to action. I'll add in my destination, which I have saved here. And last but not least, I am not going to add a button. I will set up my UTM params. The nice thing about Facebook is they actually have UTM parameter formulas, unlike LinkedIn, similar to Google. And I have like a default, hold on. Yeah. So if you, so you can use this formula right here in all your Facebook campaigns, and by default, they'll add in, for example, this site source name, the medium, and the ad set name and the content and the ad name. That is really helpful because these are by default will be picked up by Google Analytics if you set them up appropriately. When I'm ready to rock and roll, I can hit publish and my ads will go live. The neat thing is it can have multiple different ad sets with multiple different creatives and content. For this sprint, I am testing 3 different campaigns. One where we use our custom audiences, one where we're trying out Advantage Plus targeting in addition to our custom audiences, and one where we're only doing retargeting, all with the same content, all with the same objective of a form submit, and we'll see which performs best.